If God is for us, then who the is against us? Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and take the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and take the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and take the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and take the man up top.
Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot.
Welcome to the Wealth Mindset with JD Garnier. Listen, I hope you are having a productive week in your wealth creation journey. And as always, my goal is simple: to help you walk in wealth, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. To take the things that God has already given you and use those to create a life of purpose, so that wealth is more than just what you acquire. Wealth is who you become. You are the wealth. It's not your investments. It's not your business. It's not your real estate. It's you. Before you have any of those things, you have a unique and specific set of talents, abilities, gifts, ideas, habits, disciplines, and inclinations that form the basis of everything that you do in this world. And once you tap into that, you build wealth in your life. So again, you are the wealth. Listen, man, first things first, please follow, like, subscribe, and share my content. If you like my message, if you like what I'm saying, I'm on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and X at JD Garnier or Garnier JD. You can also purchase my books, hire me to speak at my website, jdgarnier.com. You can also purchase my books on Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. My latest book is The Art of Diversity Selling: How to Transcend Societal Differences in Business. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're in high-level sales, this book is for you. It takes you from when I went from no clients, no network, and no relationships to building a multi-million-dollar practice. I have over 50 ideas and strategies in this book for high-level salespeople. You don't want to miss it. Get it on my website or at Amazon.com. The Art of Diversity Selling. Listen, man, as we approach 2026, I've been telling you all year that the world is changing faster than we are prepared for. And most of that change is technological, but the adjustment for us is psychological. Because for centuries, we've known how to take care of ourselves, make our own clothes, make our own food, communicate through written word. We've known how to do all of these things by hand for centuries. And just in a couple decades, we've lost all of that ability because we've put our faith, confidence, and trust in handheld devices. And listen, that's good. It gives us convenience. It allows us to do things faster and more efficient than we want to do them. But what is it taking away from us? What is it taking away from us? You know, when I talk to somebody or I mentor somebody who's stuck in a rut, who's trying to figure out life, who's trying to identify their next move, one of the questions I ask them is, what's the last book you read? And in recent years, the answer is, oh, I listen to audiobooks. Oh, I downloaded this podcast. Oh, I watched this YouTube video. And listen, that's all good. There are many, many, many different ways to learn. But in my series, How to Change Your Life for Free, one of the things that I tell people is that you need to be reading 10 pages a day. If you really want to change your life, at a minimum, you need to commit to reading 10 pages a day. I didn't say watch a YouTube video. I didn't say download an audio book or podcast. I said you need to read. Why is that so important? When you read a book, a process happens with your brain that does not happen with any other form of communication. When you open a book and put your eyes on a page, your eyes have to interpret those words and form images in your brain about what you are reading. And so your brain has to interpret what's on a page, identify images in your mind, and then interpret and comprehend what that means in the context of the book. That's a whole lot of work that happens when your eyes lock in on a page. And if you see an idea, if you see a concept, if you see a word that you are unfamiliar with, your brain doesn't have any reference for that. I've never seen that word before. I've never saw this idea before. I've never heard of this concept. And then what happens is your mind starts to expand. You start to use your imagination. You start to use insinuations. You start to develop thinking skills, trying to identify this concept or this idea, this word that you've never heard before. And your mind goes off into this tangent. And then the next thing you know, you've read a few pages, but your mind has wandered all over the world. That's what reading does for your mind. And we have taken that away from our generations. We've taken that away from our children because we give them a YouTube video. We tell them to go listen to audiobooks. We tell them they can ask Chat GPT for the answer. And we are depriving ourselves of the opportunity to expand our understanding and to expand our minds just because we are not reading. This is not by accident. I repeat the statistic all the time that 85% of our children cannot read or write at a proficient level. And I don't think people understand why that's so detrimental. The first form of communication is the word. Even the Bible says, in the beginning was the word. A written word is the first form of communication from taking a thought into reality. If you say it and nobody hears it, it doesn't even exist. But once you put it on paper, once you memorialize it with your handwriting, it becomes a reality. It becomes a thought. It becomes an idea. And if we are depriving our children of the ability to understand thoughts and ideas at their most basic level, they're not going to be able to survive in this new age. They're not going to be able to survive in this new economy. If they cannot take their eyes and interpret words on a page in a way where they understand and comprehend it at the highest level, they're going to fail. I tell my kids all the time, if you know how to read, nobody can lie to you or withhold information from you. Because if it's not in a document, it doesn't exist. So when they wake up in the morning, before they turn on a tablet, before they turn on a television, they have to read 10 pages and they have to tell me what they read. And I am training them to comprehend. I am training them to expand their minds. And we depriving ourselves of that because we want to do everything and we want to teach our children to do everything on a tablet or on a device. And that one simple thing is denying them the ability to develop their minds. That's how important reading is. That's how important it is. You want to change your life, read 10 pages a day. Within 6 months, you'll be a whole different person. You will have had experiences and ideas and thoughts that you would have never even considered if you had not picked up a book. That's how important it is. And so if you're a parent, or if you're just trying to govern and manage yourself better, that should be a requirement in your household. At the most basic level, if you're trying to change your life, your eyes need to be on pages every day. It's going to get you out of that comfort zone. It's going to get you out of that idea trap. It's going to get you out of the trap of monotony, where you're consuming the same things every day. You're looking at the same things every day. I'm talking about life right now, man. It's not about money. It's not about wealth. This is about life. More people than ever are depressed. They hurting. They're looking for answers. And they think they're going to find it in social media. They think they're going to find it in a YouTube video. In the beginning was the word. Before you even get to the money, your mind has to be right. There's so many people with the bag and they don't have the right mind. It's meaningless. It's nothing. When you can go to the mall and buy whatever you want to buy, at that point, money becomes meaningless without purpose. And so I am on a constant mission to get you to your purpose, because your purpose is where you're going to get fulfillment. You're not going to get fulfillment just getting the bag. It's entertainers and athletes all the time. They get online and tell you about how unfulfilled they are, how depressed they are, with hundreds of millions of dollars sitting in their account, because they don't know their purpose. And so some people will say, yeah, well, I'd rather not know my purpose but be rich. But that's nothing but a prison. At that point, your money becomes nothing but a prison. And it consumes you because you have the money to fulfill all of your desires, but you don't have the mentality to fulfill your needs. And so it's empty. And you sitting in a $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 car, and your soul is empty. That is what chasing the bag has gotten us. That's what this short-term mindset has gotten us. That's what 30 years of repetition, of degrading our own, of talking about killing and murdering and wastefulness and irresponsibility, that's where it's gotten us. And now we look into the people with the bag. We look into the people that have gotten all of this fame and attention in our community, and they depressed. They weak. They on drugs. They victims of their own success. So how they gonna lead us anywhere except for down the same path that they got? They got all that money, but there's no conviction. There's no standard. They all victims to their own vices. So that right there should tell you your life's journey and your purpose has to be beyond money. Yes, we need to be wealthy. We need to be financially independent. We need to be in a position where we are not trading our time for money. But if you do all of that and you don't have your mind and you don't have your soul, it's not going to mean anything. Your wealth and your prosperity has to be tied to your purpose. If you don't know your purpose, you need to get out of your comfort zone and discover it. And in order for you to do that, you're going to have to develop the wealth mindset. Sacrifice, risk, and patience. You're going to have to sacrifice something. You're going to have to take a risk for something, and you're going to have to wait for something. And once you start that life's path, you are on a continuous journey for growth. You are on a continuous journey for wisdom. Purpose is not one accomplishment. It is a continuous gift to the world. I'm constantly giving my purpose and my talents and my abilities to the world in a way that God tells me to do it. I'm taking his original instruction and I'm putting it out in the world in a way that hopefully changes somebody else's life. That's when you get fulfillment. And then whether I get paid for it or not is irrelevant, because I know that I'm taking what I have and doing what I'm supposed to do. And once that seed is planted, it's not up to me when it develops. It's not up to me when it grows. So hopefully this is a year-end inspirational message for somebody who's thinking about the time that they've wasted, the things that they didn't do, the help that they didn't have. And listen, going into this new year, you still have nothing but space and opportunity. Come out of your comfort zone, get out of your stagnation, and get in motion. Stagnant water is dead water. You have to be in motion. And you're going to fail. You're going to get rejected. You'll be told no. You'll go the wrong way. All kinds of things are going to happen. But that motion creates energy. You fail, you get back up. You lose, you figure it out. And then eventually that momentum and that wisdom and that knowledge that you get from that failure starts to insulate you, and it starts to become armor. And then the problems and the things that you faced a couple years ago, now you know how to handle that. Now it becomes an opportunity. Now you learn how to capitalize on it. Now you have grown. And if you keep that up long enough, you'll look back on your life and not even understand how you've got to where you got. But it starts with the way that you think and how you execute those thoughts out into the world. And just like the game of chess, you don't talk about your moves, you don't announce your moves, you don't advertise your moves, you just play. And the only time you do talk, the only time you speak, is when your opponent is in danger. The only time you talk in chess is when you already got them on the ropes, when you've already executed your strategy, when the game is almost over. So handle your business in the new year, and remember that change begins from within. You got it.